Welcome back to the channel, everyone. We are playing a game right quick again after Crystal Palace, and it is Newcastle United away. There are a few teams that I see as rivals, obvious teams that you hate, the likes of City, Liverpool, etc. But Newcastle United are one of those teams that I hate. I do not like their manager. I do not like their fans. I do not like the club. And quite a few of their players I don't like as well. And it's simply because of how they carry themselves. They are arrogant, but they're not that very good of a team. They think that because they got some Saudi investment and they're playing in the Champions League and they won a trophy for the first time in 56 years, they seem to think that they are a big club. And yes, in years gone by, under Sir Alex and when they had the likes of Kevin Keegan, they were challenging for the Premier League. But that was years ago. That is not the present. And this entitlement that the Newcastle fans and the club has itself is seriously confusing because they are 13th in the table. Their last two Premier League results have been losses. And even though they are in the round of 16 in the Champions League, they haven't performed that well as they did last season in the Champions League. Now, Eddie Howe, he tends to be very, very pragmatic in his approach to games and is very good at firing the team up. And we know whenever Newcastle plays Man United, their players, they always seem to turn up, especially the goalkeeper. And they will be fired up for this game. They will want to get a win, not just because their last game was a loss against Everton, but simply because it's Man United coming to town. And that motivates these type of players even more. Eddie Howe himself will look to cause an upset. He will look to cause us problems. He will look at the West Ham game, he will look at the Everton game, he will look at the Crystal Palace game. These teams have a similar type of mindset when it comes to defending, and Eddie Howe will definitely use that to his advantage. The rest of the team, they certainly can cause you problems. We know the qualities of Anthony Gordon. We know that even from defense, they have players that can cause you problems from set pieces. The likes of Fabian Schär, of course Dan Burn, we know his quality in the air. Malik Thiaw, who came from AC Milan. These players can cause you problems in the box from set pieces. And Kieran Trippier, we know his quality from deliveries. So they will put a lot of emphasis on those corners, on those set pieces to cause us problems. Now, for Michael Carrick, he will have a bit of questions with regards to the starting 11. I'm sure that you saw that Maguire and Luke Shaw both came off against Crystal Palace, and he did confirm in his press conference that they are not injured, they just weren't feeling well. So whether they start this game, I think they can. It's just a matter of can they last the entire game. But I do think Michael Carrick will be starting them. Newcastle United, they certainly haven't been at their best this season in the Premier League. They would probably prefer to be higher up in the table, but they haven't gotten to that level. They haven't replaced Alexander Isak. Voltemade started the season quite well, scoring goals, assisting goals, but that has seemed to dry up right now, and there's even talk of him leaving the club. There's links of Sandro Tonali and Bruno Guimaraes could be coming to Manchester United for next season. These are all rumors. I know that because we need a new manager, there will be a lot of players linked to us because it doesn't matter who the manager is. Once Man United get Champions League confirmed, I guarantee you there will be so many players that are going to be linked to United and players wanting to come to United. Now, I certainly look at the team and I tell myself, does Carrick make the mistake that he did against West Ham, where he didn't rotate, where the team looked a bit tired because they're playing games in quick succession? A game on Saturday and now again on Wednesday. There's recovery time, but there isn't that much time to really recover to a 100% part of yourself. And Michael Carrick, he saw that Benjamin Sesko has an impact from the start because of his presence. And against Newcastle United, certainly we will be needing that presence once again. Someone to occupy Dan Burn, Malik Tiao, to cause them problems, to ask them questions, to stretch the defense, because anyhow, Newcastle United, they're definitely going to squeeze us in midfield. They're going to press us with absolute 100% aggressiveness and intensity. They will ensure that we don't have time on the ball, that we cannot find those intricate passes that we want. And I do think about it, Crystal Palace was a bit of a warm up to how Newcastle United will play. They won't play the same system in terms of three at the back, but Newcastle, they can play that particular system, especially when defending. They will put five at the back. They will squeeze the midfield and close those spaces. And their forwards will press us aggressively from the front. So it comes down to how we mix it up, how we balance it. One moment we go long to Sesko, the second moment we look to play through the lines. We have to be unpredictable in this game, but also we have to match their energy. We must match their aggressive level. If we don't, they're going to run riot, they're going to run all over us. So we need to be ready for that because Newcastle will be up for this game. Now, for the starting 11, I don't think Michael Carrick makes any changes. If Luke Shaw isn't fit to start, Mazraoui comes in, and of course, Delo can play left back, Mazraoui can play left back, either or. There is options. If Maguire isn't fit, of course, the likes of Aiden Heaven is there. Perhaps Martinez returns to the bench again. Nothing was said about him being back fit for this game in the press conference by Carrick. So I do think he keeps the same team that started against Crystal Palace. If he makes any changes, it's due to injury, and maybe perhaps he feels to bring in Ahmad from the start. But I would like to see the same team start, especially that front three of Cunha, Sesko, and Mbumo, simply because of how we can stretch them, how we can play through the lines with those players. But Sesko gives us that target up top. It gives us a player to cross the ball in the box to cause problems to Newcastle's defense and keep them on their toes. Because once they become comfortable, that is when Newcastle's confidence will grow, and they will certainly use that as fuel to get a result. We must silence the stadium. We must ensure that the crowd doesn't push their team, because once the crowd gets into it, then it becomes very, very difficult, and you find yourself in a cauldron of fire, because Newcastle will make it difficult, especially if they smell a small bit of fear. So this is an opportunity for Michael Carrick to once again show his credentials and show that he's not just here to be an interim. We get a win against Newcastle, and then we can seriously start looking at whether he is the right man for Man United permanently. Let me know in the comment section what your thoughts are ahead of this massive game against Newcastle. Let me know on your thoughts on Michael Carrick. Till we see each other again in the next one. Bye-bye, Red Devils. Thanks for watching. If you want more content on Manchester United, like, share and subscribe.